Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Ting Open Season 3. I am in between dead and alive. I am literally Schrodinger's cat. Joining me this morning is Zombie Grub. How you doing there, girl?
Is that you know what? Doesn't matter. I'm okay.
I'm either dead or whatever. I don't give a fuck. People got the joke. It was a small quip. A quip to start the stream, alright?
I'm not sure that's a quip either.
You know what? I think you're right. I don't give a fuck. All right, so here's my deal, right? Really happy and really sad at the moment.
Okay.
I had Subway for breakfast because Subway is like 3 minutes away from me. I had
It open at 2 a.m.
24/7, dog. Remember? Yeah. So I had Subway for breakfast. That's pretty great. But at the same time, as you just mentioned, 2 a.m. Not a great time to wake up. I also got lost going before I went to bed last night. I specifically was trying to find the closest gas station that sold these little fuckers, the 5-hour energies. And I totally got lost on the way home. Feels really bad. And does Stats not realize he's playing a tournament today? What's this?
Both of them didn't realize it's best of 5.
You know what? Hang on. I think this better be in the message logs. I said, yeah, best of 5. Rip. So I don't know why they don't know.
Cause they didn't pay attention.
Yeah. Either way, still group stage. Apparently they have no idea how today is going to work. That's always a good thing to have going on. I'm going to remember to be a good boy and turn off my mouse scrolling before we get into games because I was playing on Korea. Rip.
Good deal.
All right. Many games, easy, fun. Thanks, Stats. I'm glad you're so stoked to be playing today, brother. Before we get into the game, though, someone actually commented on this, and I felt really bad. People had mentioned that we had missed their sub at the end of the last stream, and well, normally in most cases I'd be like, well, fuck off, we're busy. The thing is, at the end of stream is the one time I do feel bad about missing subs. People will sub as the stream's already offline, but because of stream delay, and we use like 3 minutes or more, these sort of things happen. So going all the way from the end of last stream, thank you to Matt for Thiz or Methiz for that sub, Mailing DF for the sub, Lul Bulldog for the new sub, Surreal hit us up with a new sub, Nolan 0219 also new sub. These are all people who subbed were offline too, by the way. Vivid Oblivion resub for 24 months. OFU hit us up for 14 months of some resub action. DJ Reyes 92 4 months as well, says woot. Scaland subbed for 13 months to say hello and good evening. And then Yuxin was a brand new sub, followed by the more recent Squishling, who just subbed for 13 months. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Hi.
Alright, so we got the vetoes pretty much sorted between jjakji and Stats. First map's going to be on Proxima Station. Cool beans.
I mean, they're taking forever to complete them.
Yes, but at least we knew the first one. Snap, snap.
Technically, we shouldn't go until... Oh, Master Chosen. God.
Well, you know what? I can at least turn off the lobby. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Mio energy greater than 5-hour energy? I don't know what Mio energy is, dude, but 5-hour energy works, and that's all I give a fuck about. The way this tends to work is if the cast is about 5 hours long, I'll wait until we're done with like the first best of 3 usually to drink one of these, and I'm just good for the rest of the cast.
Huh. I didn't realize, I mean I should have realized, but it only just hit me that I can't drag people down into spectator slots. Oh well.
Yeah, it's nowhere to drag to, I guess, because it's all gone.
Yeah. Oh well.
Wow, crank.
Yeah, Mio energy, like Mio is that stuff that you just like you squeeze into the juice as much as you want. So it's like lemonade or
those little, it's like triangle silver packages.
Yeah, it's like triangles,
right?
and Mio Energy is like their brand of energy drinks. I'm not sure how much it works, So.
Well, hey, if the guy from chat works for me, you send me a package. I'll try it. Also, we've been given a ton of glasses over the years, and having finally moved out, I finally have opportunity to use them. So I'm rocking the Joey Ray's Marsara water glass today. What up? It's got like a Zergling skull mounted on it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Fuck Zerg.
One day I'll use them as well. One day.
One day. All right, well, I don't know how this first series will go, and it's a little bit awkward that these guys weren't aware they were going to be best of fives, but it is what it is. I also need to comment on our plans for tomorrow a little bit. So we can go whenever they're ready. Tomorrow's group is the Korean group, and it was scheduled to play at 3 a.m. Pacific, just like this one. There's some concern, though, amongst the players about SSL perhaps overlapping and running a little bit late because there's some unannounced like orientation thing they have to do afterwards. I honestly don't know. So, talking to Solar and talking to others, we really have no other day we can move the event to. So the solution appears to be just push it back a couple hours. So tomorrow might start at 5 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. Pacific, 2 hours later than what the expected time is. I don't have confirmation on that just yet, though, although I certainly wish I did. Also, terrible start to the day in XSplit, already freezing. Luckily, it froze in a good way that we can cast this first game, but after this first game, we're going to have to restart the stream. Feels bad, man. So, just letting you know in advance, after game number 1, there will be a small restart. Hiccup, whatever you want to call it. You guys are watching the TING Open Season 3 Wild Card Group. Talk more on that in a moment, I suppose. In the upper right, it is the red Protoss Splice's own Stats.
In the bottom left is the blue Terran. He is jjakji.
Alright, see if Joey's here. Name, are you here? Stream's gonna restart. I know what that means for your bots, but be aware. Because, of course, Joey is our YouTube guy. Shout out to him. I know he's lurking around tonight because he's usually up at these hours, so hopefully this one caused too much trouble for him. But, yeah, the wildcard group, a.k.a. Korea group number 2, however you want to refer to it, a little bit silly, but that's just how the I guess, things shook down.
That's how the
things
cookie crumbled.
Turned out. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, to be honest, it wasn't too surprising. It's not like a ton of foreigners got beaten out by only a handful of Koreans in the wild card group brackets, open brackets. It was actually like a lot of Koreans, and I was watching the foreigners.
I hope this doesn't wreck things. I'm gonna try something real quick, guys. See if this fixes it. No, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, we'll definitely have to restart afterwards. But yeah, the wildcard groups, I was actually expecting a little bit, not just better, like whatever, maybe the Koreans still took it, but there's a lot less performance numbers-wise of the foreigners as we saw in previous seasons. It was actually a pretty Korean-dominated bracket for all the qualifiers, much less that round of 32.
Yeah, and the wildcard groups, wildcards bracket, open bracket, it didn't even have like, it wasn't even like that the times even were catered, and I think we put them on weekends too, and at least one of them was on a weekend, and it's just...
we had tailored it in a way that we thought would really favor the foreigners, so it's disappointing when they just didn't show.
Yeah, I guess there's supposed to be a third wildcard group, but anyways, yeah, it became all Korean, so it's not like they just own face. It's just a little more disappointing that the foreigners didn't show up, but oh well. It means we get a lot of Koreans in the round of 16, which I'm fine with personally, but maybe makes a little less sense, I suppose, to be casting at 5 in the morning, where all the people who would love to sign up for TING are awake. Hey guys, hey. No, actually, a surprising amount of North Americans wake up at this hour, and I don't know why you guys do it.
I know, y'all are crazy. Anyways, Stats and jjakji. There was a lot of TvT, TVP action in IEM if you guys watched it, and Stats had a very fantastic round. I think we're past spoiler territory now, so I don't really care if we spoil it. If you do, well, you should have watched the VOD already. But Stats, well, maybe he met a rather sad end. It was at the very, very end of a tournament after a lot of games of like TVP, and he was successful in most of them. So I would say jjakji really has to be worried about this set.
Yeah, On the other hand, jjakji is performing quite well in his own regard. I mean, not as well as stats, clearly, but still surprising people with how far he's going and just reminding everyone, I guess, that he's actually a pretty good Terran, even though he's not on the forefront of Terran names like, you know, Innovation and Mario and Gun and all that. Oh, he's still pretty decent. And he does go for a 3cc build on Proxima, so he's going to get a pretty accelerated start mid-game soon enough. I mean, I think Stats is going to be able to hold on no matter what jjakji does, but it's nice to get away with things.
Yeah, and just taking that one step further, too, just so people are aware, Stats and Sue, who are both playing in tonight's group, are both still part of GSL. In fact, they're both, I think it's, what, the 15th, the semifinals play? Something like that? I've spoken with them both about, you know, tonight even, I was like, do you guys still want to participate, or are you guys going to focus on GSL? Because, for example, Stats has dropped out of the BTSL monthly finals in order to focus on GSL. And they both wanted to keep playing. So I guess it's a good backup plan to have in case GSL falls apart. It's a free trip to America, so woo! I don't know if they'll both get out of group today. It'll certainly be interesting. But again, we would love for these guys to attend the live event in Fremont, California. It is just a matter of conflict, as unfortunately GSL does fall on the same day as our finals. So clearly they wouldn't be able to play remotely from California.
The better bet was to play in Ting as long as possible, because it is the grand finals that is conflicting on the day, not like the round of 16, which would be, well, obviously a bigger problem.
Yeah, so to explain really quick, the round of 8 plays this Sunday, so we will know if they get through to the top 4 or not. If they do, but then have to cancel out, we will just take their next highest placing opponent. So, for example, if they drop out of this group stage, we'll take the results based on this group stage. If they actually play the round of 8 and then drop the round of 8, we'll take the results from there. So we'll give them the best chance and as many opportunities as possible, just so people are fully aware of what the plans are for that.
Yep. All right, so Josh takes his third base around the same time Stats does. Obviously, he had it longer building SCVs, but it really just lands around the same time, transfers over the SCVs, and it's still not that bad of a game for Stats. I mean, maybe Stats could have gotten to see the 3cc a bit earlier, could have read into it, and maybe he has a different type of build, but going for Colossus still going to get you that slow startup.
So folks are upset about this shield that has appeared in the middle of the stream. For reasons unknown. I have not touched anything. XSplit has been frozen. I know what this shield is. It's the start of the transition scene that you guys see us do the little whoosh whoosh sort of as we go from scene to scene. I don't know why that's there, and unfortunately there's actually no way for me to get rid of it. So yeah, fucking XSplit.
Where is it? Did it disappear already?
No, it's only on the XSplit. Like, it's not actually
I
in-game.
see it now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I'm watching the delay. Yeah, I know it's not in the game.
Yeah. I don't have to tell you guys. There's nothing that should have caused that because it's been frozen and won't transition. So yeah, maybe this thing like plays out over the next 5 minutes. Hell if I know.
Slowly getting bigger.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm actually worried. Like, is that what's happening? So it's not frozen. It's just moving like at 0.001 frames per second.
I'm so curious.
Well, this may turn into a radio broadcast. I will still continue to observe it to the best of my capabilities.
Good God.
Sorry, guys. It's 3 a.m. It's too early for this shit.
Yeah, right? So, Josh has a lot of units to use now, and he is trying to drop in multiple locations. Eventually, you would think Stats would get split, especially since he went Colossus. He doesn't have a ton of units to split, and you have to split them well, too. Like, if this fully unloads, is his army split not good enough? But he split it as well as anyone really could. I mean, he's got Stalkers on both sides, so maybe try and snipe the medevac, which they just do. He's got Colossus so that his gate units aren't overwhelmed. I mean, they're upgrade list. They wouldn't be that good if they didn't have a Colossus protecting them. And Josh, he's not finding any holes in Sat's defense.
You know, what really tells me what this shield is, it's not quite centered. I'm just looking at it, it's really, oh, god damn it.
Yeah, that's what tilts you. You deal with the shield, it was right in the middle.
That'd be different.
Then it'd be fine.
Well, so I'm trying to actually aim the camera around it right now, so like it's not covering anything. And if I'm looking at StarCraft, my mind is like, oh, it's in the center of the screen, no problem. But it's slightly below center.
You know what? Just imagine it's like the good old days when the game heart UI was broken. There's the little green icon off to the right a little bit.
Oh, the little question mark that would be over on the side there. Yeah. All right. Well, he stopped stats from taking a 4th easily, at least. Jjakji's going to continue to be active on the map. I have to pray and hope that this game doesn't go on too long. Kind of possible technical difficulties, but a 4th CC starts up already.
You chose the wrong map to short game on. Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hail Hydra. Guys, don't do this to me right now. This is the ultimate title T, and I don't need it. The embarrassment is very real.
Did you hear Magneto join the Nazis? A disappointment.
Oh, man, I was hoping that was like a setup for a joke.
No, I'm sorry.
It's due to their magnetic personalities. Their steel, hardened resolve. Actually, no. I don't know why I'm talking positive on the Nazis. They're not positive things at all,
yeah,
but okay.
It's just like all positive, but it's, anyways, it's the latest rumor for me. So there are Vikings out. jjakji has responded to the composition of Stats, and Stats has responded to the stylings of jjakji, and they're both maxing out and getting these extra bases. That's why I'm pretty sure this game's gonna go on for a long time, unless one of them makes a mistake, and this is very possible to happen, where they just meet each other in the middle of the map, and one is better concave.
We actually forgot to go over something very important about this matchup too. If you guys haven't been paying attention to patch notes and whatnot, Widowmines lost a fairly substantial amount of bonus damage to shields.
Oh yeah.
Which means, honestly, I think the Widowmine is still a pretty important unit, and it's going to be valuable to a degree, but it's no longer going to be as big a deal as it was even 3 days ago.
That is a good point. Yeah. I mean, we didn't see it this game. Stats did end up getting Resident Glaives, but it might be more of a problem when he goes through those Phoenix Adept builds in the later games. That could be brutal for jjakji to hold on to. jjakji's still trying to outmaneuver Stats, and it's kind of backfiring still. I mean, I guess he's canceling the 4th base, which really isn't that bad. We're killing it straight up. But he's not getting into the main base, and he just, that's all his Vikings that he sent up there. So Stats doing a counterattack might just be able to do a lot of damage before that army can respond. This is not even a planetary. Now jjakji has to pull his units from different ways.
You're trying to make so many command centers this game.
Well, you figure the game's gonna go on forever. He thought that Stats wouldn't push into him, but
he does, and he takes down not just one command center, pushes off another, and maybe even kills the natural. It's getting away barely.
Here's the thing though, like jjakji has to pull his army from so many different directions, but that will give him an eventual like surround. Liberators are included in this, so I don't know, maybe it'll go pretty well for him.
Yeah, shots being fired as Liberators do choke everything here in, and the problem is though, even if he annihilates this army out of Stats, he does have a grand standing army for sure, but he's down to 27 workers. He's lost 3 bases essentially through this.
He might be able to win though, for real.
He has to. It's his only opportunity.
Stats isn't even remaking an army right now because he just used a bunch of adepts and they just died to like stuff in the middle. He's got disruptors that he had been making this entire time.
The problem isn't jjakji's ground, it's his air. 10 Liberators, 9 Vikings.
Yeah, I don't know how Stats is gonna hold. Like even if his adepts get really good shots, they're gonna have to get like, well, what would have been game-ending shots for him if everything was turned around.
Was jjakji's natural 3rd and possibly 4th? No, I guess it's not as natural, but 3rd and 4th and possibly 5th? Just the greatest bait of all time?
Yeah, right? He is kind of attacking without the Liberators, and he does appreciate a couple of shots in, but yeah, no way to deal with the Liberators.
Them Vikings is on the ground. They got the bonus versus mechanical sitting here for 22 a shot.
That
was some Marauders.
Like, Stats is pretty close to being able to hold against this, but those Vikings will definitely help out against the Stalkers who are bringing to take care of the Liberators.
I really don't know that he is, if we're gonna be honest.
Oh, he's not anymore. Oh, there you go. There you go.
GG. jjakji takes the first game in this best of 5. And then this is where we awkwardly have to wait for the stream to catch up, so I can Alt F4 and restart the stream. Feels amazing, man. So, I guess you guys will hear this at some point, and I'll probably cut out abruptly, but just in case this part carries through, I will be restarting, so this will take a few minutes. We got the whole rest of the group, a lot of games ahead of us. I hope you guys will stick around. And again, my sincerest apologies. Damn it, we've been muted this whole time. Coming back.
Yeah, I see that.
Nailed it. Okay, well, we almost got back on track. Oh, I'm so dead. I don't need this right now. Okay, so in the bottom right, the red there, player jjakji. His opponent's top left's gonna be the blue player stats from Splice, and then we talked about recap. We did some sub shoutouts, which we'll have to do again. We love you guys. We love your faces. Thank you so much for supporting us through the BS. And then yeah, Stats is being cheeky. What up, Stats? How you doing? Woo!
That's basically a teal. Didn't listen, so
too long. Couldn't listen.
Yep, there you go. So, jjakji is about to find out. Yeah, unfortunately, about to find out. His Reaper was specifically scouting for something like this, and in doing so, has delayed its presence in the natural and main base. So while 5-10 seconds ago, the Reaper would have eventually just scouted that, like, hey, something fishy is going on. It scouted nothing, and well, now we realize what's going on. So this is quite problematic. The Reaper does still confirm that it's not just the pylon rush, that it's also the, or most likely also the proxy Stargate, and that's something there, but. Kind of sucks. Thought she was looking for this.
You know, I actually really hope the Adept doesn't die. Just staying in the natural to keep the command center from finishing is that's going to be so devastating on top of everything else that's going on. But as we see, annihilates the Marines. Going to try and outrun the beam or the lock-on ability, but perhaps a little bit greedy for that last SCV. Almost cost the Oracle its life.
Oh, almost. Second one is on the way, and the mothership is now dry on energy. Looks like a Cyclone has just about done it. Stats gets delay on the command center. He gets his own Nexus up. Unfortunately, I don't think he can actually cancel the command center.
Maybe not. That's where the Void Ray comes into play potentially, right? But that pylon paid for itself, killing those 2 depots. Really nice over there. Where'd the Oracle take Pepper from? Oh, the Viking. That's why.
First Oracle comes back in. And then the second Oracle comes in. Oh, it's like tag.
jjakji's down to 11 work. You know, even if he does finish the command center, which he does, making up that many workers is going to be difficult. Reaper on the other side of the map is causing some chaos, though. Stats, his probes have been hurt pretty badly. Going for the surround, trying to get it. The Adept comes in, and this should take care of his Reaper infestation problem.
If he could get 6 probes, that might help. I mean, it'd still be like really bad, but like I think it's the maximum a Reaper could ever hope to get. Does manage to take out the Void Ray, and I guess the other Oracle also... Oh no, it did live. So an Oracle and a Void Ray die. And while Stats is looking to, I guess, maybe commit to a follow-up attack with another Void Ray, and Gateway's on the way, maybe jjakji can hold. If he holds this attack, then maybe he can bring it back. But still hasn't even turned that into an orbital. A Banshee isn't going to have Cloak fast enough? Maybe. And even if it does, if the Oracle has Revelation, that Oracle can't help.
Yeah, it turns out sound is for subscribers only, guys, so...
All the subscribers that were paying attention, you are in an alternate reality.
So really quick, on the note of like holding here...
Oh, no.
I really don't know that jjakji can, but if he can, what I find really interesting would have been that Cloaked Banshee, but cancels it, goes for another Viking, no chance to survive, feels bad, man. Because I was going to say, the Cloaked Banshee could sit over the mineral line. There's certainly not going to be an observer out anytime soon. Cannons are probably not going to be made. That's where you start making up some of the economic damage, but... tanks up, Marines... Okay, I guess he holds, but the thing is, like, holding here and losing control of the natural is not the same thing. He really needs that natural base.
Sure, yeah. I mean, he does. This is still good damage by Stats. But, you know, jjakji holding means that Stats did have a little blip in his own economy, and of course wasn't teching really behind this. Void Rays don't necessarily count. It's not going to be too useful as time goes on. But yeah, Stats is still doing good damage. jjakji should probably be still feeling pretty screwed in this game here. Yeah,
look at the income graph, by the way. It's a launching point. You see exactly when all this went to hell in a handbasket.
He's got to try and take that natural back. I mean, soon enough, he'll be able to transfer a lot of workers from his main base to his natural. But he needs to secure it first. And he also needs to burn a scan.
Yeah, that's going to be really annoying. Worse than that, too, is if he doesn't scan but actually walks a Marine into it, then they'll lock it up for like another 60 seconds or however long stasis lasts, right? But poking away at it. jjakji knows the pressure. Stats could bait this. It's not going to, though.
A little too risky with that tank being there.
Oh, it's gonna be so tilting. The jjakji's gonna sit there and be like, you know what, I need to scan. He does have the energy though, so it's not like he's over muled. Oh no, he just muled. Oh Jesus.
Fortunately, that Marine does still block out the command center. I guess he could maybe land a little bit north, I think, but it'd be out of position.
Yo, these guys look like they've been eating some Energon crystals. Just to throw back to our Beast Wars talk from yesterday's cast. Wow,
that is a throwback. Like, I'm gonna remember that specific from the show. Come on now. Gonna find the Stargates, at the very least. Take that out. And jjakji does have a tank push now set up. It doesn't have any stamina. It doesn't have combat shields. It doesn't even have medevacs. Just the Viking for a little bit of that vision.
I feel like if stats were to actually invest in a lot of stalkers, this might work. Like, normally this might start skewing for depths, but I think blink stalkers maneuverability, being able to blink on top of the tanks and otherwise wouldn't be too shabby. There's that new Widowmine damage, guys. 35 versus shield. Bonus is 40 plus 25 versus shield. Used to be, what, 40 plus 40, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pre-patch numbers definitely were a lot higher was the point. They took that down quite a bit.
That is true. Well, blink is, like, stalkers and blink usually aren't what you want, but in the high numbers that stats will have from his much more accelerated economy, it's probably going to be fine, especially if he meets it halfway. If jjakji was allowed to siege up here, which is probably why stats has moved out here, he could have some trouble with his natural being denied. Even then, I'm not sure that would have mattered enough. His third base would still be very healthy in mining. But anyways, it could have been a possibility for jjakji, but jjakji's waiting for stim, combat shields, and +1, which is giving stats so much time to build the blink stalker count, to build the adept count, and he's really missed out an opportunity to try and be aggressive. At one point, he was at even army supply, even without all his upgrades. Now it's going to be just in stats' favor from here on out. Oh no! Well, this could probably be tap out. Yeah, just tap out the game.
Yeah, GG. Splice's stats, takes the game, ties it up 1-1. Oh, that's a little bit rough for jjakji. He was doing so much and working so hard to come back into it, only to have such a simple, classic Terran moment happen. And normally that's something you can kind of shrug off. You're like, okay, one medevac's not so bad. You rebuild it. But that wasn't a normal situation, and that wasn't a normal medevac snipe, so it feels bad in many different ways. Regardless, we'll get into game number 3 here pretty quick, and we will hold the ad break. Normally, this is where we would throw it, but with all the restarting and hullabaloo, I feel a little bit bad about it.
Yep. What did you know?
Oh, I hope I didn't join the wrong barcode. Just clicked your name.
Well, I don't see you.
Yeah, that's a game with Maru. I don't know who that was I just joined off of. Awkward. Apparently I'm friends with somebody playing customs with Maru, though, so that feels pretty cool. Just brush that off that shoulder there.
It was probably Scarlet, right?
Maybe, yeah. I don't
know.
know.
In Korea.
Let's click the wrong name on the list. Anyways, Paladino Terminal. Let's hop into it. Skip the intros and all that stuff. Don't want to risk more stream hiccups and problems. Feels bad, man.
Oh, who wants to bet Apollo is going to be a butt if I let him in my room? Partoos on Apollo being a butt. Partoos. All you Partoos.
Partoos on the series, man. People can't cancel the bets for your cat. Especially when we all know he's just going to be a butt.
Oh, sometimes.
I will say, this is bragging here, guys. You miss... Zomgrub is like a circus ringleader for her cat sometimes while we're on ad break and you can't see the camera. She'll just like play with them. He'll do like jumps and flips on the bed and stuff. I got the classic like do.
Yeah, I love that song. Yeah, Apollo can be a little.
Okay, whoa, jjakji. I don't know what jjakji's doing. He just spiked up to like 800 APM. Some severe SCV micro in the top left. The red Terran player jjakji. What?
In the bottom right is the blue Protoss. It is stats.
Like, Zerg APM shoots through the roof because of the way Larva works. What could jjakji possibly be doing to build a depot and get 800 APM with?
Spamming, I guess. I mean, still at like 500.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, the spamming I get, and that's usually that idle's around 200, 300, right? But, I don't know.
Not with Korean Terrans, man.
Apparently not.
They love to spam.
I wonder how that would work. So we look a lot at nerfing StarCraft 2 in terms of like units and whatever. What would it be like if you actually nerfed the mechanics a bit? Like, for example, there's a game, Final Fantasy, that MMO, and one of the things was they had this really ridiculous global cooldown system, so you couldn't APM there, so to speak, right? Like you had to wait 1 second between every action. I'm not saying we should do that with StarCraft, but I wonder how that would affect things, like in terms of balance.
That's what StarCraft 2 is. It just reduced mechanics of the real StarCraft game. That's what it'll look like, Rifkin.
Well, what I meant was, is it, for example, the APM of Koreans that makes them so much better than the foreigners? Is it the decision-making type thing? Like, if you actually limited their actions per second or actions per minute, I wonder how that would look. I'm not trying to say this is a good or a bad idea. I'm just curious.
That's a whole debate right there, because then what people have for ages, and seriously starting with StarCraft 2 from Brood War, they said that the mechanics are so much lower that it's a possibility foreigners would be better against Koreans in the game, which is technically true as far as like skilled foreigners went in Brood War, but that was also because there weren't many foreigners. And people have brought that up with League of Legends. Maybe like it wasn't that great of a game. Like Dota's one with the skill set, so of course people who were bad at the game originally are going to be okay at the game. They brought it up with I guess Dota 2 from regular Dota. They brought it up with Overwatch. You know what Koreans are so good at? Whatever game they play. So it's everything, I would say. It's mechanics and decision-making and practice hours and strategy. Because I know they're in fact, in Overwatch, I would say that's the strategy that's better than their mechanics. But oh, no one wants to talk about Overwatch anymore.
So I'm just noticing, we've never seen anyone do this in Paladino, but with the size of the base where that SCV is hiding, this is a map I would love to see a Terran player come in and proxy a building and hide it for. Like proxy factory in the corner of this base, probably devastating in some cases.
No one would expect it. I mean, Stats does proxy, but not in jjakji's main base.
No, but it's heading to his main base right now. That Oracle about to head on in. jjakji does have a Widow Mine, but it's on the wrong side of the mineral lines. It's behind the refinery on the right side. So Marines are going to be able to push this off.
I can't believe they didn't kill it.
Well, I can. I can believe 4 health-wise they didn't kill it. It's a shame none of these vehicles are being able to be commandeered. Is that like a Batmobile in the back? That looks so cool.
It's like a weak-ass Banshee, man. Oh, in the farther back. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking at Batmobile.
I'll tell you about the skinny, the anorexic Banshee here. So this is a problem, though, because whether he actually kills the Oracle with Marines or not, he still needs a significant amount of Marines to deal with these Adepts. And that's not going to be fun to deal with. The Cyclone will help for certain, but Stats pulls away with that Oracle, and Phoenix is actually following this up.
Okay, alright. Well, I mean, if you do have a bit of aggression with gateways, Phoenix is picking up that key unit, that Cyclone, could be really helpful. Order mine drop occurred, but apparently, I guess I've only got 1 probe kill, so it didn't even show up in the workers.
Didn't even registers.
Game Heart workers lost anyways. It only starts counting after 2. Adepts try and get what they can, but not much, and the game does go on. I mean, jjakji had to play really conservative, and it ended up working out really well, because there was a proxy and a bit of an aggressive poke with the Adepts. But it also means that, yeah, he wasn't building SCVs the entire time when his commander had to lift over, and it wasn't optimal lining.
I'm really confused. People are talking about frame drops in the stream right now, but I'm seeing 0 on my end. What if my shot?
Just Twitch side problems, I don't know.
Do you mind opening the stream, just double checking too for my peace of mind? Because it seems like not everybody's getting affected to it. Dropping a 5 FPS. What's going on? There's nothing here that should say we're actually at like 75 FPS right now.
Well, mine is delayed, I guess. I need to refresh it.
Yeah, that cool new Twitch feature where the stream's like 15 minutes behind.
Yeah. Well, for some people it's probably a cool feature, but this attack goes on while I refresh the page, and motion record does go down. Nothing but stalkers left over. No blink, no upgrades. Viking land's gonna be able to deal some more damage to him, and this is actually kind of scary with another Viking joining in, another Cyclone. That's actually hold. I don't see any frame drops or delay or anything.
Okay. The micro on those medevac with that Cyclone, by the way, huge. Of course, stalkers with the projectile, you can actually juke a lot of the damage. You can juke a lot of the shots, so he overcharges, but there's no pylons down here. Voidray comes out, focusing on the Viking. So what they's gonna shoot it back, I guess. The Cyclone also gets targeted down, but the Marines firing away at that Void Ray. Medevac goes down. Last throws of that Viking comes down to the ground. He's gonna try and shoot those Stalkers out. It's such a scrappy battle. But it looks like reinforcements of stats should be ultimately what holds this. New Stalkers walk in, but here comes a Cyclone. Cyclones can tear through Stalkers. If this was Adepts, that'd be different, but he's still gonna run away from this.
Yeah, I think it still needs a little bit more protection than just 2 Marines. Stats hold.
Oh, that Void Ray though.
And if stats holds, then jjakji is actually in a world of trouble. 2 base versus 3 base isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world for Terran, but it's still like 35 SCVs, not 45 SCVs, and it's no stim. Stats did manage to like sneak in his blink and his +1, and Chrono Boost will help accelerate that. And jjakji, he might just be screwed from here on out. It was very close. If he broke the army, he breaks the third. If he breaks the third, maybe he doesn't win the game, but he did put himself in a very good position. Okay, stats. We can't win the game now. I don't think he can. Not with a bunker up.
He shouldn't with the tank either, but again, the Void Ray does bring a lot of power to any of these attacks. But yeah, shelling away at those Stalkers working nice. Stats, by the way, I mean, like, okay, maybe he won't win the game here and now, but he does have 3 bases. His economy sitting on 60 probes. Yeah, jjakji may have helped for the time being, but I fear that that may be it.
Oh. Yeah. The follow-up push with stim, maybe he's gonna wait for combat shields too. I mean, it hits hard and fast on Paladin Terminal, but Stats gonna have such a big army. He might be able to sneak in Resonating Glaives if Josh is going to wait for combat shields. Oh, well, he's got it going on now. I don't know. Chrono Boost's a pretty good spell. He might be able to get it. Or he does have an overwhelming amount of Blink Stalkers.
Oh, the Oracle comes out. Okay, I guess Revelation's going to be a pretty big deal.
It's very helpful. The push is going to have siege tanks, but really, Paladin Terminal is a little bit difficult to get a good, awesome siege tank position. There's not too many chokes or ledges, walls to go up against, unfortunately. So, Josh is gonna have a decent type of push, but not decent enough. Oh, snap.
I just sit here and because of the way the last game went, I don't want to call anything. Just absolutely fear, right? But I don't know. I feel like Stats should have this in the back. Or not last game, excuse me, game 1.
I was confused, yeah.
The last time this happened to Stats was my point, is what I was getting at. But his army does look so grandstanding. It does look so good. And I can't really see him tripping on himself here. Regardless, though,
yeah.
jjakji going to try and take a fight. Tank down. Guardian Shields up. Void Ray going ham on what it can. Tank just getting absolutely melted, and that's with Prismatic Alignment up.
There you go.
Yeah, that's going to be it. jjakji gets cleaned up, and Stats is going to definitely, like I'm going to say it with confidence, definitely take a 2-1. Oh, I see in the meantime, a guest has arrived. Hello, Apollo.
Took his collar off.
Dude, I bet cats love that. It must be just like getting a good stretch, like scratching that spot. Wait, he took his collar off, or you took his collar off?
He did.
Oh.
What he does is he puts his lower jaw underneath the collar and then rips it off, and
that sounds so uncomfortable.
it looks like he's gonna hurt himself, but he does it whenever he's bored. It's like an act of defiance.
Well, as far as
mom taking his collar off.
As far as frames dropping, guys, what I'm gonna try and do is drop the bitrate a little bit, but to be perfectly clear on my end, there are no frame drops whatsoever, so I don't know what would be causing that. So I'll take the bitrate down a little bit and see if that helps fix things. We're going to go to a small commercial break, though, as we get into the next match. So stick around, and we'll see you soon. Alright, folks, we're back. We're actually loading in the game, but here's a quick shot of Apollo for you all, as well as my beautiful face. But we are in game, so let's not skip out on the action. Here for the wildcard group of Ting. Spawning in the bottom right. He's got 1 point on the board, but he is also on his last life. It's going to be the blue Terran player, jjakji.
On the top left is the red Protoss. He is spliced. Stats.
Just as a reference point, too, because I think some people in chat are misunderstanding. Well, we're talking about frame drops and stuff, too. People say, oh, no, it's been fine for the last 3 minutes. The problem is that's about what the stream delay is. Stream's sitting here on about a 3-minute delay, so unfortunately, well, feedback, it makes feedback difficult, frankly, and interacting with you guys the best we can. We do what we can, but yeah, if frame drops were happening 5 minutes ago, but by the time you hear it, chances are that's what we were referencing. Regardless, though, quick note, if you are up this early and happen to be from the United States, I've got a message specifically for you. Unfortunately, though, it's a bit of a sellout one. The Ting Open is, of course, presented to you here on BaseTradeTV, thanks to Ting. I would like to note, and this is actually worth noting, Ting is one of the few companies that not just pays us, but pays us what we're worth and doesn't try to like undersell or undercut us. So that's really nice, actually getting a paycheck for a tournament that we do. And they're really nice about it. They're great people to work with. But the deal that they have is excellent. And make sure to check out bttv.ting.com to claim $25 in credit and possibly consider using their services. Again, if Ting is good for you, we hope you guys will find function and find savings with them. But if they're not better for you, they've said it and we'll say it too, don't swap to Ting. But I think it is probably something worth looking into at the very least. So again, savings calculator and all that good stuff over on bttv.ting.com.
For sure. Oh, no proxy Stargate this time.
You said that.
Oh, jjakji.
So very Canadian.
Which part?
Oh no, there's no proxy Stargate.
Oh boy. I didn't say oh no. I don't think I did anyways.
He's gonna feel like a regular Timmy is.
I just said oh. Natanya's born. No. The,
we own Natanya's toy 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 toy.
Jaj is gonna be able to play out a better of a macro game here. I mean, he technically, in my opinion, was going to lose Proximation game until Stats committed with the army and he got a full surround. Otherwise, his drops weren't working out. It was getting to a really long game, and I think Stats actually usually wins in that type of macro game. But he did win the macro game, so maybe feel better about this game on Belshir.
Thank you, by the way, to Oh My God, Bad Beats LOL, 13 months, over a year. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel for another month and rejoining the Base Trade Brigade. But yeah, I kind of feel like this series should have been a 3-0. Kudos to jjakji, though, for being able to make it 1 point on the board. Maybe that, though, is enough, because if he holds on for just a little bit longer and ends up taking this game, we will go to, of course, match 5. But for those who don't know the format, or maybe you haven't been watching a lot of the Ting Open, we had the European group just not even 12 hours, 13 hours ago. It is a group. So we've got these 2 preliminary matches, Su versus Gumiho coming up after this. And of course, that'll send us to winners, losers, and finals. Not in that particular order.
Yeah, not in that order. Oh.
Whoa, that was such a sad death.
Yeah.
He just like slipped down the cliff.
Smacked down. Alright, so the Reaper still got a really good scout despite being smacked down the cliff. And it's all a Robo, no Twilight Council. Gotta be expecting that War Prism. I'd hope he's expecting that War Prism anyways.
Damn.
I mean, I guess there's not much you can do about it. You still want to get the Widowmine drop off, and your buildings are building tech labs or reactors and all that, but sometimes you see people sneak in a Viking if they're so concerned.
So see if these Widowmines get some good hits, but we just got a hell of a callback to the sub. TJA 1980, 24 months, that's 2 years, says, watching you guys on my TI-83. If you could actually put Twitch on your scientific or whatever calculator, I would be impressed.
Oh, this is a huge problem. With the micro of the War Prism, I'm not sure the Marines are enough, but does...
Oh my god, that was a lot of probes killed.
Okay, well that did take all of Stats' focus, so that, you know, second late reaction was pretty bad.
And Marines did an okay job fending this off. I mean, 5 SCVs have died so far. Tanks up now, though. And that's going to be some easy splash damage. I will say, oh man, I shot his tank for a second there. I will say those mines are going to be super problematic for a couple different reasons, but at least the Observer's here to clean it up. So maybe those got good hits in other realities, bad hits in some, but in this game, he certainly got enough probe kills with those Widow mines.
Yeah, I don't think for also like Stats expect to take that much damage from the Widowmine drop, really. Maybe 5 at most, especially if the Marines come with it, but not that many. Adept is going to get cleaned up here. A little bit bold of it to go into that natural mineral line anyways. It's got combat shields first. I don't know if that's on purpose. We don't see combat shield pushes that often. We've
actually talked about this a lot recently, right? Where that seems to be consistently a mistake. As this is the, I want to say like 3rd time in recent months that we've had this question pop up.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain advantages to having it first. If you're going to push with it, then it does give you the extra health, and you can defend a little bit better because it's a much faster upgrade to research.
Yeah, maybe this is on purpose, though. Yeah. He is going out for that attack. He's accompanied with siege tanks, so I guess the logic is like you don't necessarily need stim for the damage. You get tanks behind you dealing it out as well.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting, but certainly something that has been talked about and even specifically used as a build in the past, just not so common anymore. Colossus is out, not as many adepts as stats would want, having dedicated to that earlier pressure, and jjakji might just have too good of a push.
Yeah, I don't know. This is, the bunker can be down on top of everything else. I thought it was just going to be a turret, but a bunker is really nasty. The Colossus doesn't quite have that reach. Extended Thermal Lance is still like a good 30 seconds out. This is... I really don't know if stats can hold this natural.
It's under so much fire. I mean...
This, by the way, is a great reason and a good example why I like best of fives, guys. He does focus fire down the Colossus, but the Warpers will pick up at the last second as stats not good enough to save it. But you know what? He does take out a majority of the Marines through this. Not going to be good enough, though. jjakji takes it. Oh, boy. All right, so that's going to send us to Game 5, which is cool. And this goes right back to what I was saying. Is if this was a best of 3, jjakji would have already been out. But he actually has a chance now to bring this back and maybe take it here in Game 5 versus stats. Someone in chat is asking, why don't Terrans mule the main? Isn't it safer? If you've played Terran, you know the answer to this. But just for those who don't, you really mine out the base that you're muling so much faster. And because you already start in the main, if you want to have one base economy, you mule the main. Don't do that. Like, you'll just end up with no mineral patches and have to expand at stupid rates. You mule the natural because it lasts longer. It sustains it. Spreads it out.
Yeah, that is the reason. And also, I would say that a lot of times your main isn't safer anyway. What? Like in that specific scenario, the adepts ran through the natural, and that doesn't happen that often. It's usually like oracles in your main, warp prisms in your main.
What is this tweet, dog? No pain, no gain by zombie. Retweet that. That's good. Feel the burn. Anyways, Paul is still being a sweetheart over there, as we can see. Cactus Valley will be the last game in the series.
At least you need to join the chat. So I can invite him.
Yeah.
What a dummy.
What a dummy.
God.
Alright, well, here we go, hopping into the game. Again, this will be map 5 in the first best of 5 today. I think our European group started out like this too, huh? Denver and Optimus. Yeah.
I guess so.
See if this follows up with 2-3-0s. But alright, getting into game number 5. Things are tied up 2-2. In the bottom left, he is going to be the blue Terran player, jjakji.
In the top left is the red Protoss. He is stats.
Apparently we got a host from Winter. Cool. Thank you very much, man. Hope you had a good stream or whatever was going on. But stats, Splice. I'm trying to remember what team is jjakji on. True Esports still, or what team's jjakji on nowadays? Or did he join Revolution? I gotta Google this. jjakji SC2.
I beat you to it. I beat you to it. Oh my God, he is on Team Revolution.
Team Revolution. Okay, okay. Who was it that joined TES then? Because it doesn't have that in his history, actually.
Ryung.
Ryung, that's... Thank you.
You're welcome.
All these Terrans in Korea just look alike to me. Oh, that actually... That looks... Yeah, I didn't mean that. That's a little bit racist if it's taken like that. Anyways, point is... Yeah, jjakji, of course, I remember him mostly for his run on My Insanity. You know, pretty close with Penguin and always talking about him over there. But Revolution, they picked up... Who else did they pick? It was Hero, right? Liquid X Liquid Hero, not to be confused with the now Root Gaming Hero.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yes, people. Looks like Stats is prepping for a proxy Stargate. Seems to be somewhat common on Cactus Valley. It's funny because I feel like more times than not I've seen the proxy in the wrong location. This is still like closer, right? No, I don't think it's closer. I think it's still like the same distance away if you just put it in the corner of his base.
I look at it as a way, it's like it's not scouted, and that's probably more valuable than anything else. But Tanuk in chat says that feel when you know base trade is on because you look at Twitter and see ZG trolling people about fapping. Well, you know what? Twitter is like the best way to keep up to date with what's going on, guys. So
you don't know my Twitch meandering.
Well,
I could do this all the time. You wouldn't even know.
I was just gonna use that as an opportunity to plug our Twitters, but thank you for shutting that down.
You could just do it.
No, it's not organic anymore. So, Zealot in the middle of the map pokes the watchtower. It is actually really odd to see the Zealot and the SCV scouts this too. So this is already got to be raising all kinds of red flags. In fact, bunker coming down right away here for Jakji.
Yeah. Good response. I mean, ideally your command center finishes, and that's something that the Zealot could try and stop. But
ooh.
I don't know. I think it's already too late. It's gonna die.
He did. He's got to pull another probe if he wants this to work. You can't just simply throw the Adept in the Mothership Core there, right? Like, the Zealot's cool and all, but didn't get a cancel on the command center. No pylon down to bust open that wall. This is all kinds of awkward. And the SCV has scouted the Stargate. This is actually going really well for Jakji to start.
It is. It is. No delay in the command center. No units being killed. I guess he didn't go for he didn't actually go across the map with a Reaper. So he's not getting any probe kills. Looks like the only thing that could be a little bit better.
Yeah, but you know
the
what?
Oracle is going to go to the main base.
The Reaper's staying at home. Okay, well, it's going to die. Rip. I was going to say, though, the Reaper staying at home, I think, was absolutely worth it, though, because it stopped the Zealot from canceling the command center.
Oh, yeah. I think that was definitely good. I don't think I had to be in the bunker, but yeah. Definitely good to stop that Zealot. Oracle went to the main inner line and got 4 SCV kills. I was a little worried to get a little bit more, just because Josh didn't have any defense there. Yeah,
and I think the key thing is he got out of there without taking any actual health damage, just shields, so not bad. Round 2 of this attack as the Mothership Core flies back.
Joshi is playing pretty scared here at Lys's command center. That could follow it up, and he is, so it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world for Joshi to do this. He might not have enough units to spread across 2 bases. Yeah, he really doesn't. He'd have to have that Widow Mine in the mineral line. Widow Mine in the mineral line, yeah, exactly. SCV gets a freebie scout with the Reaper could not. The Reaper's dead, and that's nice. You want to know if they're gone for a lot of gateways, no Nexus, hell, even a fast 3rd Nexus. It means it didn't scout the fact that 2 more Oracles came out, I suppose. So 3 Oracles might be a shock, but still a good scout.
Revelation. Hugely valuable in this situation. These 3 Oracles have been stacked up too, so it's not even going to be obvious that there's 3 of them. Oh my god, that's going to melt. Even the Cyclone would go down. Its Lock-on's got a fairly long cooldown too, so it can't exactly do much. I guess maybe pick up if it's in danger, but the Marines get shredded, so nothing's going to live down here. He has to lift up the command center once again. And while this isn't necessarily demolishing Jakji, it does give stats leads back at home. This is happily mining off this Nexus. Chrono Boost will get probes out very quickly. Jakji will start falling behind economically. But I think the worst part of this is he's not really getting a lot of sustainable damage on these Oracles. Most of the time, it's just shield damage. Uh-oh. What am I, though? Could change that. Oh, what am I? Could get a really good hit?
Okay. Takes away the power of the Oracles a little bit right there, and does weaken another one, so he might not be able to bust anymore. But still, keeping Jakji off a natural base. Stats might not have started off amazing with this proxy push, but he's really done enough damage, I think, beyond to make up for that. As long as he doesn't lose his units right here, right now, which he is in danger of doing.
Yeah, Stalkers don't have a blink. I'm not sure what the plan here is. He's got that Sentry coming in, though. Guardian Shield could be really valuable, considering how little damage these Cyclones do. Actually, wow, it just occurred to me how much Guardian Shield shuts down Cyclone damage.
Actually, it's pretty good. You don't usually see them up against each other.
You gotta consider it would make a Cyclone literally hit an Adept for 1. How crazy is that?
Whoa, Kurdos. Yeah, I don't usually think about those things, but it's pretty extreme.
He just forced you out the ramp instead of going for that Guardian Shield, though, which is interesting. I mean, the medevac can still evacuate a couple of these units, but that's where the Oracles come back in. No anti-air means there's... Oh, the medevac going down, and this is starting to fall apart for Jakji.
Oh, no, the Oracles can take on that tank. That's so dumb.
He's actually trying to repair, which is cool.
Yeah, they're gonna run out of energy.
Yeah. But Stalkers might just kill the orbital.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Rip.
Oh, that's going to be game.
That is certainly going to be game, because Stats is taking a 3rd while this goes on. And maybe Jakji had a 3rd CC in the main. You talk about recovery options, but that's not even the case. It's 1 base, No chance to survive. I guess he's waiting for that third tank and might just go for a push, but that's really all he can do.
Yeah, that's all he can do, and unfortunately it's a pretty large map, even if it is vertical spawn. I mean, like Cactus Valley, that little, where the stalkers are right now, this is a problematic place to deal with tanks and, like, you know, bring along liberators, get some combat shields. It can be a problem, but Stats has been working off a third base for a little while now. Just needs to saturate it. Use it. 3 no?
How many gateways is he on? He's already on 3. He's got 3 more coming down. And the stats should be fine for the defense too. Like, let's say this army gets, he's AFK, right? Loses all the stalkers. He can still warp in so many more behind this.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, jjakji is going to be able to push before Blink and +1, so it's like, you know, little things can be helpful. So they're not going to be the most powerful stalkers you've ever seen, but they can still cut these Marines a little bit, force the siege hop of tanks across this long map. It's going to take forever, and Sats might actually be able to buy enough time to get Blink and +1. I mean, jjakji should be just pushing no problem right here, not having to stop every 5 seconds.
You know what? I almost wish you just pull all the SCVs. Screw it. Pull the boys, grab that Viking, everything across the map, because it is his only opportunity to get something done. Now, this medevac getting towards the main will find initially not much to defend with, but I think with 4 overcharges available in the mothership core, defense here shouldn't be too much of a problem.
You saw 2 pylons in the front, maybe thinking there weren't any in the actual main base, but... Oh! Almost caught in the backside. But that drop did not work. He has been steadily pushing through the middle, taking shots at some of these stalkers.
You know what? These stasis wards going down all over the place are going to be really helpful, too, to stall out Indian. If the Marines walk in a little too close, if the tanks hit that at just the wrong angle, if jjakji loses any portion of his army for this, he's out of it. Like, his army is not bad, but it's not good if it loses any portion of it.
Yeah. It's not good enough. On a 30 army supply down, now down to upgrades too. And
I don't know if he needs to transfer in, but he's gonna go for that plus the blink. Goes for the fight, takes it out. Tanks immediately focus down, and this is looking pretty grim. Guardian Shield up on that sentry as well, reducing a lot of this Marine damage. He steps out of the Guardian Shield, which is kind of awkward, but it's a little too much to handle. GG.
That takes it.
Right, congratulations to Stats. He'll go to the winners match and probably just say, like, man, that should have been a 3-0. But that is, again, the power best of 5s that almost went the other direction. So next up, we're going to have Gumio versus Sue, but I don't see Sue online, so I probably have to poke and prod and search and hunt. So, guys, while we do that, we are going to play a sponsored break. There's going to be some, oh, guys, I got an ad block. How come it's not blocking out these ads? And it's because these are in-stream ads paid for by TING. Again, $5,000 in prizing. They pay us on the back end too, which is really nice. They help provide money for the admins for this tournament. TING does it right. So please watch these ads, and we'll see you guys here shortly.